Hello friends, welcome back to VOWIAS. Welcome to the discussion on Polity PT365 summary. So this is part 6 of the lecture series, and in this part we are going to discuss the 7th topic, that is important bodies, that is both constitutional as well as non-constitutional. Okay, now let's quickly begin the discussion. But before we begin, just a small information. The document which we are using in this discussion is the Vision IAS Polity PT365 summary prepared by VOWIAS. In this Polity PT365 summary, what we have done is we have reduced the Vision IAS Polity PT365 into less than half. Okay, in this summary we have not missed any important information that is important from the examination point of view. You can check the quality of this summary from our Telegram channel. Okay, now let's quickly begin the discussion. The first is National Recruitment Agency, the NRA. This National Recruitment Agency, NRA, was approved by the Union Cabinet, and it will be an independent body which is to conduct the common eligibility test in 12 languages for the non-gazetted posts in the government and the public sector banks. Currently, a lot of exams are being conducted by a lot of agencies like the SSC and also the IBPS and others. So now all these exams will be conducted by a single agency called the National Recruitment Agency, and it will be a societal registered body under the Society Registration Act, headed by the chairman of the rank of the Secretary to the Government of India, and it will have representatives of Ministry of Railways, Finance, SSC, RRB and IBPS. And this set will be held twice a year with different sets for the graduate level, 12th and 10th pass, and the score will be valid for 3 years. Okay, initially set will be conducted in 3 agencies only, the RRB, IBPS and SSC, but it will be extended to all the recruitments in the course of time. Okay, now let's see the advantages of this National Recruitment Agency. For the students, if you see, it will replace the multiple examinations, and it will encourage women candidates, as every district would be center, and it will also reduce the burden of fees for multiple examinations, and the outreach and awareness will increase participation from the remote and rural areas. And if you see the advantages for institutions, it reduces the cost on setting up of exam center for multiple exams, and this will be a single exam, and it will reduce the recruitment cycle, and it will increase the administrative efficiency from the government point of view. And also it will bring in more transparency by conducting single exam and one-time fee, because normally we have seen in recent times there are a lot of controversies with regard to various exams. All these controversies and all these opaqueness in the examinations also will be reduced. Okay, now let's look at the next piece of information, that is with regarding to the National Medical Commission. So the National Medical Commission Act of 2019 was passed in, and it replaced the earlier Medical Council of India Act. Okay, and if you see the Medical Council of India, it has a lot of problems. If you see some of the problems, they are with regarding to poor regulation of undergraduate and postgraduate courses, lack of accountability, and there are issues of corruption as well. And the NMC provides medical educational system that ensures availability of adequate and high quality medical professionals, adoption of latest medical research by the medical professionals, periodic assessment of medical institutions, effective grievance redressal mechanism. All of these things will be provided by the National Medical Council. And the NMC will consist of 33 members, including chairperson, who is a medical practitioner, and it consists of 10 ex officio members, which includes the presidents of undergraduate and postgraduate medical educational boards, General of Health Sciences, Directorate of General of Health Services, and Director General of ICMR. All of these people will be the ex officio members, and it also has 22 part-time members, of which at least 60% of the members must be medical practitioners. So this is a body consisting of all the top level medical practitioners. And if you see the Medical Advisory Council, it will be set up as a primary platform through which states or union territories can put forth their views and concerns before the National Medical Council, and it will advise the NMC on the measure to determine and maintain minimum standards of medical education. And if you see the functions of NMC, it is with regard to framing policies to regulate medical institutes and professionals, to assess the requirements of healthcare related human resources and infrastructure, and ensure compliance by the state medical councils of the regulations which are made under the bill. So all of these are the main functions of the NMC. And also, if you see the framing of guidelines for the determination of fees for up to 50% of seats in private medical institutions and deemed universities, they will be regulated under the bill only. And with regard to autonomous boards, if you see, they will be set up under the NMC. It consists of president and 4 members who are appointed by the Government of India, and these boards are undergraduate and postgraduate medical educational boards. which is to set up the standard and regulate medical education at undergraduate and postgraduate level. So next autonomous board will be the Medical Assessment and Rating Board, which is to inspect and rate the medical institutions. Next is Ethics and Medical Registration Board, to promote professional conduct and medical ethics, and also maintain the National Register of Licensed Medical Practitioners and Community Health Workers. So these will be the autonomous boards that will be set up under this new bill. And if you see with regarding to entrance examination, there will be a uniform national eligibility cum entrance test, the NEET, for admission to undergraduate and postgraduate super specialty medical education in all the medical institutions. The NMC will specify the manner of conducting common counseling for admission. And next you have the national exit test, the next, to gain a practice to license after MBBS, to gain a license of practice after MBBS and serve as entrance examination to the postgraduate level, which will be the next. And this bill also provides for limited licensing. Okay, and the National Medical Council will grant a limited license to certain mid-level practitioners who are connected with the modern medical professionals to practice medicine and prescribe medicines at primary and preventive health care. Okay, so now who will be coming under this limited licensing? You have lot of ANMs and other senior nurses who are involved with the medical field from quite some time. So they can be given few licenses to prescribe medicine at primary and preventive health care. Okay, so this will also be done by the National Medical Council only, and this bill also provides provision for this. Okay, so these are the important provisions of the bill, right? So we have seen the functions and the new provisions added. Now let's look at the next information, which is with regarding to the National Human Rights Commission. The National Human Rights Commission, if you see, recently Supreme Court allowed the NHRC to take a suo motu case with regarding to the migrant labours, because last year during lockdown we have seen the people who have faced maximum trouble are the migrant labours during this national-wide lockdown, and this will be taken by the National Human Rights Commission as suo motu. Sorry. So this case will be taken by the National Human Rights Commission and they will investigate into the matter. And if you say NHRC is basically a statutory body and not a constitutional body, and this is established in 1993 under the Protection of Human Rights Act of 1993, and this act also provides for the creation of State Human Rights Commission and Human Rights Court for the protection of human rights. And if you see powers and functions of NHRC, it will investigate grievances regarding violation of human rights either suo motu or after receiving a petition, can look into matter of human rights violations within 1 year of occurrence, and it can interfere in any judicial proceedings. It can visit any jail or other institution. It can review the safeguard provided under the Constitution, can recommend for the payment of compensation or damages, can undertake research, has the power of a civil court, and it submits its annual report to the President of India, who will submit in front of the Parliament. And the Parliament passed the Protection of Human Rights Amendment Act of 2019 to bring transparency of selection process of the chairperson and the members of NHRC. So this is all the information about NHRC which was in news. Okay. So if you see some of the provisions with regarding to the new amendment in 2019 and compare it with the old ones, if you see composition of NHRC, earlier the chairperson should be the former CJI, but now the chairperson can be a former CJI or any Supreme Court judge. This is the amendment that was brought in 2019. And also according to the original act, 2 persons with the knowledge of human rights has to be appointed as members of NHRC, but in 2019 3 members have to be appointed, of which at least 1 will be woman. And if you see the chairpersons of commission like NCSC, NCST and the women, they are also members of NHRC, but in 2019 amendment it provided for inclusion of chairpersons of a National Commission for Backward Classes, the NCPC, the National Commission for Protection of Child Right, and the Chief Commissioner for Person with a Disability as the members. And if you see the chairperson of SHRC, earlier according to the original act it should have been the chairperson has to be the former Chief Justice of a High Court, but now any judge of a High Court or a former Chief Justice can be the chairperson of State Human Rights Commission. Earlier the term of office is for the chairperson as well as other members is 5 years or till 70 years. 5 years or till 70 years, and it allows for reappointment of members for 5 years, for not less than 5 years. Only for 5 years they can be appointed. Okay, but now this term is reduced to 3 years. This term is reduced to 3 years or 70 years, and it removed the 5-year limit for reappointment. Because that means earlier, if a person has to be reappointed, he has to have a minimum term of 5 years. He has to have this 5 years term. Otherwise, he will not be able to be appointed. But now this 5 years term is removed, so he can be appointed directly. And if you talk about union territories, the Government of India may confer on the State Human Rights Commission to function, or you can say to discharge the functions with regard to a union territory as well. Okay, the human rights functions in case of Delhi will be dealt by the NHRC directly, because Delhi is the capital, right? So these are the important provisions with regard to the new amendment, which we need to remember from the examination point of view. Okay, so now let's look at the Central Vigilance Commission. The Central Vigilance Commission is basically, it is to bring systematic improvements and also to bring transparency in the system. And recently the CVC has sent public suggestions to the ministry for a lot of changes within the CVC. Okay, now from the examination point of view, we have to know about CVC. The CVC, the Central Vigilance Commission, was set up in 1964 on the recommendation of Santanam Committee, remember this, and in 2003 it was granted a statutory status. It is now a statutory body. It has one chairperson and not more than 2 vigilance commissioners, who are appointed by the President on the recommendation of a 3-member committee, who are Prime Minister, Home Minister and Leader of Opposition in Lok Sabha. And the CVC has amended the standard operating procedure on adoption of Integrity Pact in the government organization for procurement activities. Now if you see what is Integrity Pact, it is a vigilance tool which envisages that both the vendor and buyers do not exercise any corrupt influence, implemented by the independent external monitors, who are the people of unimpeachable integrity. It has both a legal document and a process developed by Transparency International in the 1990s. Okay, so CVC is a very important statutory body for us, right? Now let's look at the Law Commission of India. The Law Commission of India was in use, and generally it will be in use for a lot of reasons. Generally, the Law Commission of India is appointed by the Government of India. It is neither a statutory body nor a constitutional body. It is just a research body which is established, or you can say which is set up by the Government of India. Recently, this 22nd Law Commission was constituted by the central government. Sorry. And if you see the tenure of this Law Commission, generally it is 3 years, and it will be purely an advisory body. The first Law Commission was established during the British time in 1834 by the Charter Act of 1833, and the first chairman was Lord Macaulay, and it recommended for the codification of IPC, CRPC, etc. This codification, which was done in the 1800s during the British time, it is being followed even now. Okay, the first Law Commission of Independent India was established in 1955 for a 3-year term, and the first chairman is MC Setalwad, and he was the first Attorney General of India as well. Now, so if you see the composition of Law Commission, it has chairman, who is a full-time member. It has 4 full-time members, including Secretary, Department of Legal Affairs, and Secretary Legislative Department as ex officio member, and it will not have more than 5 part-time members. So it is a body consisting of both full-time as well as part-time members, right? Now if you see the next information, which is with regard to the National Crime Record Bureau, NCRB. So this NCRB was in use. If you see some important information about NCRB, it was originally set up in 1986 as a repository of information on crime and criminals. It is recommended by the Tandon Committee, the National Police Commission 1977-81, and Ministry of Home Affairs Task Force of 1985. The National Crime Record Bureau is entrusted with the monitoring, coordinating and implementing Criminal Network Tracking System, the CCTNS project. So this CCTNS project is a centralized database which consists of information of all the crimes and criminals, and its headquarters will be there in New Delhi. It will be under the Ministry of Home Affairs, and the information will be given to the police based on the need. It is released. So this NCRB also has released the Crime in India 2019 report, which is the first edition, whose first edition came in 1983, and it report the captures crimes registered under the IPC and special and local laws. The key objectives of this is basically for functioning as a clearinghouse on the information on crime and criminals, the key objectives of NCRB. And it also store, coordinate and disseminate information on interstate and international criminals, provide training facilities to the personnel of the Crime Record Bureau, a national storehouse of fingerprint record of convict persons, and advise the central and state government on the matter related to fingerprints and footprints. Okay, so these are the main objectives of NCRB. Now let's look at some other important bodies which are in use. The first is Committee on Content Regulation and Government Advertising, which is set up by the Centre on the direction of Supreme Court to look into content regulation of government funded advertisements, and also to address complaints from the general public, and can take suo motu with regarding to the violation of Supreme Court guidelines on the content regulation of government advertising. And the committee said that the states are not setting up similar committees as mandated by the Supreme Court. It can be considered as the contempt of the Supreme Court order. Previously we have seen there are 2 types of contempts. One is the civil contempt and next one is the criminal contempt. So civil contempt means if anyone is not following the Supreme Court order, it will come under civil contempt. So not Supreme Court or High Court as well. If anyone is not following the order of court, then it is called a civil contempt. But if anyone is degrading the court, then it comes under criminal contempt. Next is Bureau of Outreach and Communication, which is under the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, and this has issued the draft policy guidelines for empanelment of social media platforms. okay, for the center, for mainly the for mainly the social media platforms with the BOC for centers paid outreach campaigns. It was set up in 2017 and it aims to brand government as a prime facilitator of people's empowerment and promote awareness through print, audiovisual, outdoor and digital media. Next one is National Film Development Corporation. This National Film Development Corporation is established by the Government of India, and the Cabinet has recently approved the merger of 4 film media units within NFDC, which is a central public sector undertaking for planning, promoting an organized, efficient and integrated development of Indian film industry. It merged film and media units, the film divisions, Children Film Society, National Film Archives of India and Directorate of Film Festivals. All these are merged. And remember, the National Film Development Corporation is basically a government organization which is a PSU, the public sector undertaking, for planning and promoting of organized, efficient and integrated development of Indian film industry. Okay, so that's it guys for this discussion. I'll see you again in the next lecture, which is the last lecture for Polity. If you have any doubts, do ask us in the comment box. If you want to get back to us, you can get back to us via Telegram as well. The Telegram channel details are there in the description. If you want to subscribe to our course, the details are given here. You can also check the details in the Telegram channel. That's it guys from my side. I'll see you again in the next lecture. Till then, keep studying and stay tuned. Jai Hind.